Yes, people. What's going on? Sorry, I need to get this off the screen so you guys can see me. Gosh, what's going on, everybody? Manchester City have won the Champions League, and it's left a lot of debate on the table. Is Pep Guardiola the GOAT? What's next for Manchester City? And which treble is better? Man City's treble that just happened or Manchester United's treble from 99? In addition to that, there's some rumors about some signings like Declan Rice, as we already know. Chelsea are linked to Caicedo and Arsenal are linked to Caicedo. There's also Jadon Sancho linked to Manchester United, away from Manchester United to Tottenham. We're going to get into all of this plus more. I got an astute panel for you guys today. Hopefully you guys are hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and let me know where you're watching from. I just want to say congratulations to the Man City fans, of course, for winning your first Champions League and being the second team to do a treble in the Premier League. And that's also Pep's second treble. The game itself was it wasn't the most entertaining game, but of course, Man City winning is all that the Man City fans care about, and the rivals were all left in tears, including myself. But yeah, let's get into it. I got Ram in the building. I got Qasim in the building. I'm going to have Staffy here. I'm going to have Hamza here. I'm going to have a bunch of people in the building. Continue to hit that goddamn like button. Continue to hit that subscribe button. But yeah, Man City won, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, it was weird. It was weird because I seen more people making fun of other clubs than actually congratulating them, including myself, by the way. And then there was a lot of people more just like mourning the fact that their treble is no longer themselves. A lot of people just throwing banter. And I felt like the Man City fans didn't care. They were in their own bubble, just enjoying themselves as they should be. But yeah, the game itself was cagey. Man City didn't play the best. They won the game 1-0 off the Rodri goal. And really and truly, we got to talk about some people like Lukaku, Rodri, Ederson save later on in the video. But yeah, what do you guys think? And Qasim, of course, you did predict Man City were going to win the Champions League. A lot of people did predict this. Like Hamza, of course, he put his neck on the line at the beginning of the season saying we're going to win it. A lot of Man City fans in the chat, like Daniel, they're just happy that they get to see their team win the Champions League. They're so happy right now, and they deserve it. They played well, and they did everything they needed to do to get the job done. And to now have your team winning that Champions League, like, let's be honest, only you guys would know. How do you guys feel about Man City winning the Champions League? No longer in company of just Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester United in the Premier League with Aston Villa.
It's shit. It's not good. I don't like it. It's the same feeling I had when Chelsea won their Champions League. It's like, great, another team that we can't really corn now because they've got big ears. It's another one, and to do a treble as well. Look, the objective side of me is going to be like, fair play. You guys play the best football, and you guys did your thing, man, and you deserve whatever accolades come along. But then the rival side of me is like, it's just, why them? You know, it's that little bit of bitterness. But fair play to them. They thoroughly deserve what they did throughout the entire season, and no one could take it away from them. They did what they had to do.
Let me know, everyone in the chat, what you guys thought about the game, how you guys are feeling. We got Daniel in the house saying champions of Europe. You know what we are. These guys have been celebrating through the night. Did you see Jack Grealish? He's still wearing the kit from the game and the shorts. He hasn't changed. These guys are going ham. But yeah, before we go to Qasim, Alan, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, I wanted it weren't working the link, and then I had to copy and paste, and then it works. It was like fair enough. A little bit late, but
it wasn't working.
It just wasn't working. So I was clicking on it. It weren't loaded. So I was like, okay. So I just had to send it somewhere else to another, like to message rather than WhatsApp, and it worked. So I was like, fair enough. So yeah, a little bit late, but I'm good.
No worries. Qasim, how you feeling about the game?
Bro, yeah, I saw it coming, bro. I predicted City to win the Champions League. I predicted that. But listen, the Manchester City, Igal, and everybody here, Manchester City's work, it doesn't start this year. For the last 5-6 years, they've been the best team. I think they've been the best team in the world. Them and Liverpool last 5 years.
Yeah, bro.
100%. And the structure, the philosophy, the manager, the owner, the way they operate, even with the transfer, that was coming, bro. It was just a matter of time. And when they played the Champions League semi-final or final, even against Chelsea, a lot of fans from different supporting different clubs say, "Oh, they bought the Champions League." This I never thought this way. I thought it was only a matter of time for Manchester City to win the Champions League, and I thought this year would be the time for them to win it. But I didn't expect the treble. I thought I knew they're gonna win the league, and I knew they're gonna win the Champions League. But I thought United maybe have one game if they come, maybe they beat them. But it just, I mean, City deserve it. I'm not gonna lie, they've been the best team. So I'm not happy about it as a because in England. But at the end of the day, from football perspective, they are deserved to win the Champions League.
Yeah, and they cakewalked the group stages also, and the friggin' in the round of 16, they just beat everyone, got to the final, and they didn't do it their way usually. It was a cagey game. It wasn't usually. It's not usually.
But they smashed Bayern Munich, Igal. They smashed Real Madrid. They really are,
But they couldn't smash Inter, but they still won. So that's
but there's one game in the end. Inter, you need to understand, Italy football is always cagey, isn't it? When you play Inter or AC Milan, they always 11 players behind the ball, and it's gonna make it hard. And that's why it was only 1-0, bro.
Yeah. Yo, Sean, today's a closed panel. Sorry, buddy. Next time I do a show, maybe you can jump on. But yo, what you saying, Alan?
Yeah. So for me, yeah, I predicted. I've done a short on my channel after I think the round of 16, and I said I think this is the year for Man City. And yeah, they got over the line. It was a tough fit final, because Inter Milan made it hard for them. They didn't just go toe to toe with them because Man City would play them off the park. They sat in, they man for man, they pressed them in the midfield, and they found it hard. They got the goal, great finish by Rodri. But Inter Milan then, when they played, they had their chances. If it weren't for an amazing block by Lukaku, it would have been 1-1. I need that type of defending at Spurs. So maybe I'll give Lukaku a call to join me at Spurs.
Are you talking about this moment?
Yeah. No, that's Ederson saving. No, the one where it was headed and it just hit Lukaku pretty much on the goal.
Yeah. I don't think it was going in. I think that Diaz was there, but yeah.
We'll talk about Lukaku later in the show. I feel like he needs one second.
About the whole thing, but yeah, I mean, in a tournament, they obviously got over the line in the final, which is what you're meant to do. They absolutely destroyed Real Madrid, and the Champions League win, solidifies them as because it's the treble and the three-peat, as one of the best teams ever in world football. For me, if they go on to do a fourth Premier League, then they eclipse what Sir Alex Ferguson never did with Man United. And then you talk about, are they probably the best ever? Obviously there are quite a lot of Champions Leagues behind Liverpool and Real Madrid, but in what they're doing domestically and now adding Champions Leagues, it's a serious question. But let's look back to earlier on in the season. There was a time around January where they weren't doing this. They were looking shady, shaky in the Premier League. They weren't so well. They'd gone out the League Cup, which normally they won, I think, 3 or 4 times under Pep. So everyone, people were doubting them, and I was doubting them as well because they were, giving us reason to doubt them. But since the turn of the year, my God, they've just kicked into another gear, and no one's been able to live with them. So it's a bit scary if they buy correctly in the summer and don't lose Gundogan, or if he decides to stay and all that, they're just going to be formidable next season. So it's up to somebody else to stop them.
Facts. And just looking at this, they won the league, they won the Champions League, they did the goddamn treble, they won the FA Cup, and they didn't do another random treble. They didn't win the Europa League, they didn't win the friggin' domestic treble, they did the actual treble, and it's they've now equaled Sir Alex Ferguson's greatest accomplishment at Manchester United. They've now done the three-peat also. This Man City team is just on another level, guys. But let's just take a moment and give some praise to some of the players before the other guys show up, because I feel like a lot of the guys are going to show up and they're going to want to give some praises to some of the guys. Who do you guys want to praise the most today? Because I feel like for me, I'm going to give some praise to John Stones, Diaz, and on top of John Stones and Diaz, I'm going to also give a lot of praise to Ederson. I felt like those three guys stood out the best for me. And the reason why I had Ederson save on the screen is because moments like this win you a cup. they're gonna remember the goal, but Ederson's save will always be stitched in their memory as one of the moments that saved them. Yeah. Honestly, I really do believe the guys in this picture. You see, Diaz there also made a fantastic header to get it out. Ederson, and of course John Stones' revolutionary
And a midfielder, yeah, he's different player.
Midfielder.
So for me, I'm going to give him praise again because, like, I think it's quite easy to miss this guy. So when he first signed for Man City, I think people were like laughing at the signing, and it basically for me, I think he's come of age this season, and that's Nathan Ake. Now I didn't rate him. I didn't think it was a great thing, but he, for me again, showed composure. He was disciplined. He doesn't look out of place even in the Champions League final. I think as well as Stones gets praised and all for it, Akanji, people say best signing of the season. They're in with a shout and all that. I think Nathan Ake, because he's not a name, normally gets overlooked. But I just think again, he just looks like a seasoned vet, like in that defense in the Champions League. And yeah, I think he deserves just as much credit as everyone else does.
Yeah. And you know what? There was a bunch of tweets going out about Ederson. How good is Ederson? How good is Ederson? Is he a good goalkeeper? Is he this? Is he a good shot stopper? Can they ever win the Champions League with him? All those answers were answered yesterday. And Ake, bro, Ake is probably one of their best players this season. I think he's had a better season than Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think that's wild either.
I think personally, Bernardo Silva had a bad season. That's my personal opinion. No, Kevin De Bruyne. I'm talking about Kevin De Bruyne.
Bro, Kevin De Bruyne hasn't had a good season, and we're gonna get onto his injury in a second.
Yeah.
But
it's unlucky there for. I mean, anyone is unlucky with an injury. I mean, injuries is an unlucky thing. But I think Ederson yesterday was immense, bro. He one of the reasons they won the Champions League last night. I think Rodri very composed. Well, he's the player of the season for me. I mean, in the midfielder. When they compared him with Casemiro, I said no, Rodri is just too idiot for me, bro. And the finishing was very composed, and he knows what he was doing. He just spotted in the far corner. No, he didn't panic. Top player. He's a big player for them as well.
Big up Hussam in the chat, bro. Big up Hussam sending the cavalry over to come
Big
watch. And of course, G Certified is going to be jumping on any moment now, including Staffy also. But just let's take a moment before they jump in. We got to talk about Lukaku, because I feel like as much as we could talk about the guys who did well, Lukaku probably should have started because he would have maybe had more form.
No. The way Inter Milan played, no. The way they were pressing from the front. That's why I had to Chelsea, bro. Because they were pressing from the front. Inter Milan. Lukaku's not the man, bro, to press.
Okay. Hear me out. Do you think he has such a bad game if he would have started the game?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Personally, he was probably one of the worst players on the pitch, but I don't think he's the main reason why they lost. I would say Lautaro Martinez has just as much to blame, because if you guys remember, Lautaro Martinez had an opportunity where I think it was just after Man City
to square it,
to square it. And what did he do?
Last night on the terrace, I was surprised that everyone was going after Lukaku and they didn't have any smoke for Martinez. That guy was an absolute bum last night.
Yeah,
like literally everything he was doing was an enemy of progress. I'm doing a Benzema right here. He was playing against Inter that whole game. I'm sure of it. He was playing against them, man. Honestly, so, and people keep telling us, oh, he's a decent player. He could do this. He could do. We saw it in the World Cup. He was dead in the World Cup. He was an enemy of progress and tried to stop Messi from winning the World Cup.
I don't rate him. I agree with you, Rams. I don't rate him.
He's dead, man. He's just dead.
I think this was the moment where you say to yourself, you have to square it. You have to square it. You one-on-one against the keeper. You just won a header. It's like you have an opportunity to pass the ball to somebody who can maybe tap it in. Instead, he goes for the glory. Messes up. Do you think he made obviously he made the wrong decision, but like, could he have done something better?
First instinct I said was square it, because if you want to go off the tactical, like if you want to go all tactical about it, he was more or less playing like the Wayne Rooney, playing off the striker kind of thing, making things happen, and yet there was an opportunity and it was such a tight angle where
the angle was gone tight. Yeah, that's an issue, innit?
And Ederson was rushing out, made himself big, did everything possible, and yet Lukaku has a wide open goal. I know people like to call how bad Lukaku is, but Lukaku will not miss an open goal. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you won't miss an open goal. He's not that bad. And he tries to go for the glory, man, and that's what happens.
The issue is, Rams, with Martinez over there, the angle gone tight, and for him to go for it, I think that was a wrong decision to make, and I'm pretty sure he would regret it in it, because it's a simple square it, or boss it back and bang goal. But he gone for it, and I think Ederson. That's why Ederson was amazing. He gone out, rush out, and make himself big, tight the angle, and he just Martinez tried to force it, and I think the wrong decision to make.
Could you get a bigger picture up to show exactly where Lukaku was standing? Because from my remember in snapshot, I don't think it was as clear an angle straight to him as thought.
I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
I noticed as well, if he played it into the edge of the box, Barella was free, open.
Oh, no, and that's a possibility.
You want me to show you the image? I got a good image for you right here. So
footballers do make mistakes. Now, I'm not defending Lautaro Martinez. I thought he was absolutely dreadful last night. Him and Lukaku. So look, there's a player there. It's not as clear cut. There's a Man City player just in front. It's not.
But he should make the pass. Lukaku should.
He should make the pass. Yeah, he should make the pass.
The goal is empty. The goal is empty. Like, he needs to just make any shot.
I'm not saying he shouldn't make the pass, but in that snapshot, in an instant, we're looking at it in hindsight. In an instant, he's looked up and seen a Man City player right by him. He's thinking, like, he's got a second to make that decision. So I'm not saying it was the correct decision, but I'm saying it's not as straightforward as that. He's looked and he's seen a Man City player right on him. He's probably thinking, go for it, because we've seen players take shots from that angle, nuts in the keeper and going in. You see him, like, obviously going for a shot, it bounces back out and stuff like that. There's different options, but in that snapshot of time, that Man City player, I can't make out who because it's so small, but you see that Man City player there, he's probably gone like that. So Martinez had a bad game last night. There's no doubt in that. But you're putting him, like, criticising him for the whole game as well, which you should. But in that first half, it was literally scraps for Inter Milan because they were more worried about containing Man City than anything like that. When they kicked on in the second half and Lukaku came on when they were looking for the goal, you're having more chances. And Lukaku just looked like an absolute, he was just making so many mistakes in the fact getting in players' ways, not finishing and all that. Lukaku, how on earth people had the cheek to even mention him and to put his name in the same category as Kane is just an absolute disgrace. And people done that on numerous occasions over the last several years. An absolute disgrace for people doing that. But yeah, Martinez, obviously not a good game. Lukaku, he stopped his players from scoring as well, and he didn't really finish his shots. And he looked, there was times where he could have squared it. There was one where he dragged it really wide. He could have held it up or passed it, but he decided to go short. So they're both as bad as each other. I just don't think that Inter Milan have got a good strike force, really.
Just let me mention something quickly, Gal. In the World Cup against Croatia, Lukaku exactly did the same. He came in and they needed to win against Croatia, if you guys remember. And he had. There's a comment from Fraser. Lukaku has a trophy. Kane ain't, Alan. Scott Carson's got a Champions League. Is he one of the best keepers in world football? Absolutely not. Next comment. Seriously.
That triggered the hell out of you. Wow.
Has he done anything in them? No. Next comment. Seriously.
Scott Carson's got two Champions League.
You know what?
Alex, he's got two Champions League.
Let me stop you guys there.
This whole comment.
Let me stop you guys there. We got Patrick in the building, Manchester City fan. His team has won. He's celebrating. He's happy. He's excited. You know what? Congratulations, bro.
You know what? Good things come to those who wait. At the end of the day, right now, is nobody can say anything to me. Like, I feel like you guys have to start paying me to come to these channels because I'm bringing a treble. Man. Egal, that's why I wrote to you that message that I wasn't being disingenuous. I wish it happens to you guys very soon. But other Arsenal fans have been bitter, so I've been going back and forth with them, saying, what are you CL? Now I can say that for you guys. But I wish it happens to Arsenal because you guys also, the suffering is there. But right now, put your trebles on the table. Only a United fan can see it and actually speak to me. Right now, look at the faces you guys are doing. This is the same that happened when I went to Hossam's channel. Everybody now is just like this. They cannot say anything. Pep is now completed. Like what people say, oh, Messi helped you. My God, though, I was sweating. I had Inter fans next to me, so I was sweating in the pub, the one I was watching, and I was like, no way we're going to bottle this. And it looked a bit crazy. But right now, we have a treble. And I hope next year we go again and try get another UCL, because now I see the Man United fans are telling us that you only got one. So it looks like they've already found an answer to our treble thing. But anyway, Alan, nice to see you. Hopefully you also win one.
You're such a twat. You're such a twat.
You know what? You're being that guy. But I'm just gonna say, if you guys haven't noticed, Rodri won Player of the Season in the Champions League.
There we go.
He deserves it. He
do?
deserves it.
He deserves it, bro. He's been brilliant.
Player of the Season, guys.
Beat it,
Yeah.
Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
1 second. Does Player of the Season go to the person who wins Man of the Match for the Champions League final?
Not particularly. He's been consistent. Even when City were playing bad, he was the only one consistent the whole time. Obviously, they were giving Man of the Match to De Bruyne because of De Bruyne attacks, but Rodri has been that guy. Let's be honest. He's been that guy. Don't
He's
forget
been
when
good, man.
you remember the Bayern game? That was one of the most important goals. Because that Bayern game was going a bit iffy. Then he scored that goal from outside the box. So I think he's been good, man. He's been
You
good.
would have tucked them away anyway. You're buying a
Yeah, he's been. I think he's been amazing, bro. I just said that before he come in, guys. Rodri's been absolutely fantastic. He's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We got Staffy in the building. Staffy, how you doing, bro?
Good, bro. You know what, bro? I just noticed you guys are not good to me, bro. When I'm talking about YouTubers, you guys haven't been good to me. Everyone today is looking for my funeral, and they're like, you know what? Let's drag that one Man United fan that we know we can make miserable and put him on shows today. Not one person invited me today saying, like, you know, we appreciate your football take, so we need you on. Everyone has said, oh, you lost your treble. Can you get on the show today? I'm like, this is how you know these guys are not actually my friends. These guys are just here, bro, because they like my misery. So big up for having me, but I don't like you guys anymore.
You know what? Fair enough. You're a United fan, and of course you're going to say that. But we're here today to talk about the Champions League final and Manchester City winning the Champions League. Shout out to everyone who's joined us. We got two Man City fans, one to my right, one to my left. If you don't know G Certified, get to know G Certified. We got Patrick in the building, and Hamza said he's going to make a surprise appearance from Turkey at some point throughout the stream.
Oh, no.
But before we go to Staffy, everyone in the comment section, let me know how you guys thought about the game, what you guys thought. Any thoughts before we get to the all the other good stuff about Pep Guardiola and Manchester United and everything else? And I know Staffy's going to have a lot to say about that. But yeah, big up El Maris. He's saying, I'm sure Patrick is a lifelong City fan.
I am actually. I am. It's just that my accent and appearance is not it. I sometimes change. But I am a local man. I'm born there.
Big up.
Man, I don't care. I have a treble. Are you a United fan? So I cannot say where's your treble.
He's an Arsenal fan, by the way.
Arsenal fan. Yeah, where's your treble? Shush, man. Shush.
Bro, I'm not here to catch strays. I am not here to catch strays. Let's go to G Certified. G Certified, how you feeling, bro? Tell me.
I'm feeling good.
And big up to Husam for sending all the people over. G Certified, talk to me.
Hey, big up, man. Big up everyone as well, man, in the stream. Hey, I woke up differently again, man. I woke up a new man. I woke up with a treble, with Champions League. You know, it's like, you know, when you go in shops and you like keep the change, you know, when you get a
You woke up in a new Bugatti. That's what he's trying to say.
New Bugatti. There was a Ferrari there.
Woke up in a new Bugatti.
I got 2 flights. I got 2 extra flights to catch, you know, the Super Cup and the Club World Cup, bro. It's first time. So I don't know how I acted, bro, but listen, it's crazy, man. It's been an unbelievable season, truly, and hopefully next season we try and win the Super Cup, Club World Cup, you know, and really, because we deserve to win everything, man. We deserve it. Honestly, man, they deserve it, man. And I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
Of course, you'd say that.
You know what? I think the fun in games of bragging about City has gone too much. Let's now be honest.
Let's move on, Egal. Let's move on.
Let's move on. We're gonna move on.
I think we should stay on topic.
The next topic I wanted to talk about was the fact that they got the treble, guys. Obviously, the treble has only been done by one team previously, and now that it's been done, the comparisons are going left, right, center, and every single way that you guys can go. They're looking at Pep Guardiola's treble. They're looking at Sir Alex Ferguson's treble in the Premier League. The only 2 teams to ever do it in the Premier League, of course. you can say Liverpool, but I don't know if that's a real treble. Whatever you guys were talking about back then. But what are we saying, guys? Are we going with the 99 treble from United? And I'm gonna get Staffy to go first on this one because I know everyone's gonna say City.
Don't do that, Gal. I heard that comment. Yeah, don't do that.
No, I think it's only fair Staffy goes first because he hasn't gotten to speak yet.
No, I meant that comment about Liverpool. Don't do that.
No,
because I mean, Hussam just said it on his show. That's why
they're claiming trebles themselves.
Hussam was trying to convince us that you guys have a treble.
I mean, it was called a treble back then. The first.
No, he said
to do it.
He showed me an article and it said that they had a treble, and a treble means you just put 3 trophies together. Now, the treble, for who doesn't know what it is, it's a Champions League, FA Cup, and Premier League. You can't modify your treble because there's some countries that don't even have our version of the Carabao Cup. They just have one cup. So you can't
both together.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's some people that don't have 2 domestic cups like England. So let's not do this thing where we're creating new trebles, you know. But anyways, back to our point. I just want to ask the Man City fans. I think they're gonna agree with me before we even continue the show. Can we just all respect the fact that there's both trebles, regardless of who had a better treble? Can we just say that both of them are respected, and there's no need to diss anyone else because you did it in your fashion, we did it in our fashion. They're definitely not similar, but yet again, they're both 2 trebles. So can we both agree? Well, not both of us. I mean, like obviously Patrick as well. Can we all agree that we can just respect both trebles and respect Pep and Sir Alex for what they did before we move on?
Yeah, can I say one thing? Okay, look,
go ahead.
I think we already talked about this, and I said I'll appreciate both trebles and because I know where this is going, but I know City and yeah, we don't like each other, but you know what? I'm gonna be shameless and say this. At least the trebles are done in Manchester because I don't see the London clubs doing it. I don't see that Hossam who was trying to scrape the Carabao Cup into a treble. Big up Hossam for being that shameless.
Manchester friends, we're all Manchester.
Yeah,
at least we're being nice. Listen, Miguel, we're being nice. Listen, at least we're being
nice.
Guys,
even if you guys want to say, "Oh, we won trebles," you're still not better than that Liverpool team of the '80s.
What are we doing here?
Okay. At least we're being respectful. Miguel, we could have easily said, "Let's continue the show with the people that have a European
if you're gonna
Miguel would have left the show already.
You're gonna suck each other off. Then what's the point of this?
No one's sucking anyone off. I mean, we can leave that up to you if that's what you want to do. But we don't.
This is what happens.
From the sound of things, you are.
Everyone just wants to talk about Arsenal 24/7. Man City won the Premier League.
No, we said London clubs. We said London clubs. We didn't say we said all.
Yeah, like it was a little bit. You looked a little bit sensitive when you said that. Okay, so it's kind of on you.
It's the truth. It's the truth. We're massive. We're trending every single cup final. We're trending. It's hilarious.
Okay. Anyways, let's continue.
Let's get into this. Just to let you guys know, I'm gonna lay down the a little bit of the rules and everything else. So we're gonna actually look at the 2 teams, and I'm gonna tell you guys. It's not about the quality of the teams. It's about how they won their trebles. So that's what it is for me, at least. I look at the 2 teams. The 2 teams were quality. Both teams had world-class players. Both teams won all their league, the domestic cup and the Champions League. Of course, that's the treble. And Sir Alex Ferguson and Pep Guardiola, in my opinion, are the 2 greatest managers to ever manage in the Premier League. Now, people are going to say, where's Arsene Wenger? That's the honest truth. He's nowhere near those guys at this moment in time. And Jose Mourinho, he did a lot of his work outside of the league also. So let's give these 2 their praise.
I think everyone was Inter.
Man City had more points. Man City had more goals. Man City had an individual player who had more goals and assists, and also had cakewalk the Champions League final, where Manchester United, they had tougher opponents, you can say, because they had a 1 point difference between them and Arsenal that year. So we lost the league by 1 point to Manchester United. We lost the FA Cup. They won it. They won it after a crazy match between Arsenal in the semi-final, and then they won in the final. I forget who they played, and then they had
Bayern Munich in the final.
No, sorry about the FA Cup.
The FA Cup. Sorry, yeah.
And then
Newcastle.
Tottenham. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong.
It was Newcastle. Okay,
Newcastle. Sorry.
And then they had the Juventus semi-final, and then the final.
Yeah, that was a great game.
So I could say there's a case for both. Manchester City, it seemed too easy for them. Manchester United, you can say they had tougher opponents. What do you guys say?
Sounds of things, it doesn't sound like a debate. Honestly,
it is a debate.
It doesn't sound like a debate because you talk about the teams that United played against. Obviously, we could talk about they played Liverpool in the 3rd round, then they played Chelsea in some point. Then Newcastle, who were a good team, they had players like Ginola and Shearer. And then obviously Champions League, they had Barcelona with Rivaldo, and then Bayern Munich, obviously old man Mateus and Effenberg, and obviously Juventus with Zidane.
Let me do that then, Ram, because I want to represent my team, but I appreciate you stating some of these facts because these are some of the facts that I was going to talk about.
I'm just saying, it's not, from the sounds of things, objectively, it doesn't sound like a contest to me.
Yeah, because I could sit here. I can, first of all, let me mention these points, and I don't want to miss anything, and I don't want to ramble on for too long. So I'm just going to mention the biggest things. So let's talk about the season as a whole. That season, we lost 3 games in all competitions. Okay, that's less than what Man City lost this season because you just mentioned some of the things that they had more. Let's talk about how we only had 3 losses. We had 0 losses in the Champions League, obviously 0 losses in the FA Cup because, you know, if you lost, you would have been knocked out. So that's an obvious one. And in the league, we had 3 losses. Yes, granted, we had like 12 draws in the league that season, but it is what it is. We still didn't lose. So in our FA Cup run, we played people like teams like Liverpool, teams like Chelsea, teams like Arsenal, and teams like Newcastle in the final. So that was not an easy run. And if you remember in those years, the competition was way more tougher because there was a lot better teams, not dismissing what City did this season, but there's not a lot of good teams this season as compared back to 99. Because even when you go to the the Champions League that year, we had in our group stage, we had Bayern Munich, who we eventually faced in the final. We had Barcelona in our group. We went on in the group after the group stages. We faced teams like Inter. We faced Juve. That I could swear Juve the 2 years before they reached finals, and they had people like Zidane and Inzaghi, and they were amazing, bro. They were an amazing team. And then we went to the final and played Bayern Munich, and everyone knows obviously that infamous moment where we scored 2 goals in the last few minutes and won the game. So when you look at the competition that we faced, we 100% that season faced tougher teams. People like to ramble on and say, well, United only won the league with 79 points. That wouldn't happen in these years. Well, wouldn't that tell you that there was more competition at that time? Because at that time, we were going against prime Arsene Wenger. So these teams that we faced in all competitions were much more tougher than what City faced this season. Now, that isn't me dismissing what City did. My thing is that I want to end this with, when you're talking about both trebles, I respect both of them. Igal mentioned how we had a lot more homegrown players. Some people tried to mention that we had Yap Stam and I think Andy Cole, like where they were like, you know, we can look at the teams. I just want to mention that they were like expensive signings. But when you also look at it, we had people like Scholes, Giggs, Beckham, but Phil Neville, you know, these players that came out from the academy. So these players actually didn't cost us anything. You know, yes, we had Schmeichel, who was probably the best goalkeeper in the world at that time. Yes, we had Roy Keane, who was a big signing for us at the time. Andy Cole in New York. These guys were amazing when we had them. But also this team was built solely from the beginning on that 92 generation, that generation of academy players that came up and they ended up being in that first team. So to end this real quick, my opinion is that our treble was better because it was more impressive in terms of the people that we had to beat and in the way that our team was structured and was built up. Whereas City, I'm going to give them one prop where I feel like their treble was more dominant because we didn't dominate teams to win these competitions. Obviously, you saw the final was 2-1. We only won the league by 1 point versus Arsenal. So that one wasn't a total domination. But these guys right here absolutely like destroyed everyone in their way.
Can you admit that this is a better 11?
If you want to listen, if you want to make a combined 11, I have a case for a good at least 5 players, 5-6 players that could go in this team.
Wait, who's the case? Because no striker is getting in but Haaland.
Okay, so I can say Peter Schmeichel is in there, Stam is in there, Irwin is in there, and I can easily talk about Giggs, Kane, Scholes, and Beckham. Not all of them are going to be in. I'm not saying that, but I'm at least getting two of these guys in. So
I'll tell you
guys, I disagree with what Stoffy said about the players, Giggs and Giggs maybe. Schmeichel, yeah.
Oh no!
Let me come in. Let
the Man City guys jump in. Let this Man City guys jump in.
I want to quickly say something.
Let me finish, guys. Just let me finish, guys.
Wait, right, if you're saying that hardly any of these Man United players will get to this Man City team, then by definition, you're basically saying...
listen, you didn't get my entire statement. So let me finish. Let me finish, and you probably get a picture. Let me finish, bro.
I'm talking about other people. Like when Staffy said about several players being in this, everyone looked dumb. Like
what are you talking about, bro? Let me finish. Relax. Tottenham, bro. Just relax, bro.
Nothing's about you.
Relax. What I'm saying is, right? Let me finish, bro. Let me finish.
Your ego. Wow.
Bro. Listen. Where is Tottenham, bro? I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. So, yeah. So let me talk about
here. What are we doing here? 1 second.
I'm about to make a statement, Iga, and I didn't even have a chance, bro.
Okay, we're gonna come back. Let's chill for a second. You're gonna go Qasim, and then we're gonna go to Alan. Go ahead, Qasim.
I think. Listen, both teams won the treble, right?
Yes.
And respect to both of them. Actually, to make to compare the two teams, I think that's wrong, because there's the only two teams to win the treble, right? And that's very rare. Chelsea didn't do it. Arsenal didn't do it in their prime. Liverpool didn't do it in their prime, right? So to compare them, I think that's wrong first. But second, when we talk about other players, listen, bro, that City team, the best team I ever seen. So I was trying to tell Stuffy is he was saying 5-6 players. You're underestimating City, bro. Maybe
you're underestimating our players by saying that.
They're not. Wait. Just wait. He's saying Beckham, Giggs, and this. But what about the City players? The Bernardo Silva, the Rodri. No, bro. Listen, the two teams respected winning the treble, but players. I may take 2 players from United, but that City team, bro. That City team is.
There's no way. I don't think even the City fans are gonna agree with you.
Let me finish it off with that.
Listen, bro. Me taking some of these players over the City
Tottenham,
players.
bro. Don't talk about Tottenham, bro. Listen, let's talk about Tottenham, bro. Just relax about Tottenham, man. Yeah, come on.
We're not going to turn this into you and Alan having a.
No, I'm not. I every time I say make a statement, this guy just I don't know from nowhere, bro.
1 second. It's not personal. Let's calm down. Alan, take it away.
First of all, we're talking about Man City, Man United. Why is Tottenham coming out of your mouth? Seriously. Anyway, we're talking about these teams. My point was what Staffy said, because then when Staffy said about so many people in the Man City team, everyone was making a face as if Staffy was talking crazy. So my comment, and it's nothing to do with you, but you took it as to do with you. Not everything is about you, my friend. I was basically saying, if you're all looking dumbstruck at Staffy saying 5 or 6 players and you're saying Man City are clear and all that, by that definition alone, Man United had to have had the harder season to get what they did. If you're saying that Man City are clear of this Man United team, to do what they then did with lesser players in a tougher competition and get what they did, by definition, you're saying that Man United's treble's better. Both have pros and cons, but you can't go Man City team's clear, but Man City, is worth more. If a team had lesser players and done the unthinkable and done it first and all the way back then, you can make an argument that thing's better.
Facts.
You can't just go.
And I just want to read this super chat. Sir Alex Ferguson never dominated Europe. Pep did with 2 teams.
Now, hold on. Let me dunk on this idiot right now who sent this super chat, because this is one of the most stupid super chats I've ever seen. So he's saying he's dominated Europe twice. You know why he's saying that? Because he has true trebles. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how do you dismiss Sir Alex Ferguson's treble when you just used it as an argument to say that he dominated Europe twice? So Pep did it twice and he dominated twice, and Sir Alex Ferguson done it once and you dismissed it. You're an idiot. So just think of better ways you could have sent that super chat, because that is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, bro.
Wow, you're really heated, Hamza.
Yeah,
it's stupid, bro. It's stupid. Like,
before you go to Hamza, let me say one thing before you got that. This is why I know this thing was gonna go like this. First of all, how many times have City fans told people we don't care at this point in time? The neighbors in red can have that treble, we have ours. People can say, oh, you played a weaker Bayern, you played a weaker Madrid. That's the same Madrid that dunked on us last season and won the UCL and people laughed at us. So we played Arsenal, who were very strong in the FA Cup. We played Chelsea. I know they're not strong, but Chelsea tried their best. At the end of the day, how we've got to this treble, I don't really care. We have a treble. United have a treble. Enjoy both teams. I am a fan of some of those United players. I used to see their shirts all over Malawi. And some players like Beckham, everybody loved Beckham. But right now, it's our time. They did that treble then. They were the first ones. Congrats. The same thing is going to happen. You know what's going to happen? The Centurion thing where we win 100 points. So if another team wins 100 points, are you guys going to come back again and say which one is the better team? Let's just appreciate both teams. I have a treble. I'm happy.
Patrick, but I gave you respect. I just said you guys did a dominant treble.
Oh, yeah. Try to stop. I know you did. Yeah, I know you did.
Guys, maybe it's bad taste for me, but it's just a talking point. If everyone wants to dismiss it and we go back to talking about regular football, we can do that. Right now, I'm just going to say, for me, I thought City were much more dominant, and I think Manchester United, what they did was very impressive, and to do it first can never be done again. They were the first to do it. It can be replicated, but it can never be redone as the first to ever do it. So I'm going to give both of them credit, but I just think Man City were much more dominant.
You know what it is for me.
But let's go to Hamza. Hamza, what you saying, bro? All the way in Turkey.
God.
I don't know how long this is gonna take, Hamza.
Big up everyone. How you guys doing, man? Listen, such a, oh my God, what a pathetic thing to ask. Like, pathetic. And you can ask international fan base, move around from Manchester and ask people around the world. I've got videos in Istanbul. I'm asking people which is a better treble. International fans, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Angola, Portugal, Brazil, Argentina, football heritage. I'm asking them. You can brag as much as Fergie era is. He was known at the Premier League. Yeah? Whether you like it or not, take it. What Pep Guardiola's treble, overshadows it. Let me
You're asking people who didn't even watch it. So what's your argument, bro? Unless you're talking to me about people who are 50 years old that watched it, your argument is invalid, bro.
Fergie was playing when the Premier League was a farmers' league. It's fact.
So it was a farmers' league and we won it by 1 point. But when you win it by 15 points and shit, that's fine.
The best players were not in this league. The best players were in the Serie A.
Yeah, and those are the ones that we beat in Europe to win the Champions League. Thank you.
No, I'm being honest. Dion Doublings were your strikers. The Ronaldo, the Zidane, the Davids, the Seydorfs, the greatest players were in Serie A. The best managers were in Serie A. When he won that league, he won it on the last day of the season. He needed Arsenal.
So it was a farmers' league, but we won on the last day of the season.
No, 1 second. He won it on the last day of the season. 13 draws, guys. 13 draws. 38 games. 13 draws, 6 losses or 5 losses.
3. I just told you it was 3. Stop waffling.
1 second. 45% of the games he did not win. There you are.
So how's it a farmers' league? You just proved to me that was harder. I don't know what this guy's saying, bro.
1 second. He won it with 79 points. Are you joking? When the league was poor standards, Pep is walking the league. Middle of the World Cup season.
This is absolutely
middle of the World Cup season.
Hamza,
no, 1 second. Let me finish.
Hamza,
let me finish.
Hamza, please.
I have to differentiate so you understand.
Hamza,
let me just finish that. Here go. Middle of the World Cup season. Here go. Yeah. Fights with his own player. Did not buy a left back. He goes and wins the league from behind with 3 games to go on 89 points. 10 points easier than him. On the best league in the world.
That's down to Arsenal.
1 second. 1 second. FA Cup. My guy needed a replay against Arsenal because Arsenal were a better side in the second. I watched it. Listen. Arsenal battered them. Then Bergkamp missed a penalty in the replay. They beat Newcastle. We dumped on them in the final.
There's nothing that you said that is supporting your own case. You said everything in the opposite.
Guys, from Ferguson's eyes.
Guys, we're losing.
What are we doing here?
Listen, I'm going to change the topic because you guys...
Yeah,
I think stay on it. Stay on it. No, hold on. Stay on it.
1 second. 1 second.
Let me finish.
Stop, please. I'm going to let you finish, but understand, I'm going to segue the topic because I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to do so. Instead of now just talking about the treble, let's actually talk about the managers. Who's your GOAT manager? Is Pep Guardiola now the GOAT manager? Because he's done domestic treble. 1 second. We're going crazy now. I need to just read 2 super chats and then we're gonna go.
You're being threatened by Premier League or something.
This is very fitting. Man said, "Are you forgetting that Sir Alex did win at Aberdeen against Real Madrid? Of course, we cannot forget that."
Dynamo Tbilisi won a year later. Go and tell that Dynamo Tbilisi team.
Who did Dynamo Tbilisi beat? Did they beat Bayern and Real Madrid? Did they beat Bayern and Real Madrid on that way?
A team you've never heard of.
Did they beat Bayern and Real Madrid? You're not answering me, bro. You're just waffling. I just named 2 teams, the best 2 teams in their countries, and you didn't just. You're just waffling, bro.
God, guys, chill for a second.
It doesn't.
Next, we're gonna go to this super chat. Manchester City fan right here. He says, "Big up to you, Mancunian way." He says, "99 had 5 academy lads in 2023. 3 homegrown, 2 only more." So Giggs came from the City
Academy. Yeah, he came from the Man City Academy.
He spent like 2 days in the City Academy, and all of a sudden he's a City product.
No, but
Even if you drink water.
A lot of waffling going on today.
Because a girl, yeah, I think for me, yeah, this whole thing about Pep and Sir Alex, I think influence. Yeah, first of all, my first argument with Pep is influence. For me, there's no manager that's going to have the influence of Pep. Just look at the managers that have came under Pep's wing, the companies I know Arteta wasn't his player, but he was working alongside him. The Artetas, the Chavis. I wouldn't even be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised in the. No, I'm being.
You could argue Mourinho, my bro.
Yeah, Mourinho, like Sir Alex Ferguson. Who you gonna bring? You're gonna tell me maybe Ruud van Nistelrooy what he did at PSV, and obviously there's another guy that I'm missing out that had success that used to be in his team. But for me, there's the influence on his players is not the same. The influence on the tactical. I'm going to say again, tactical.
You think Sir Alex Ferguson had no influence on this team when he came into a much smaller Manchester United that was listen, that they were a sleeping giant at that time, and this guy came in and he had to change a whole football culture, not just a footballing culture. Because I'm not dismissing what Pep did. That's the difference between me and you guys. Because at the end of the day, I'm a football fan. I could sit here and actually say what Pep did, and what Pep did on the pitch is amazing. It's one of the best I've ever seen. But when this guy, when Sir Alex went from Aberdeen into Manchester United and fixed the whole culture for 26 years, and this is why the minute this guy left this club, we stopped winning, because it showed you that he wasn't just managing a team on the pitch. He was managing a whole club, him and David Gill, from his earlier days when he came in and changed the whole drinking culture and the scouting culture and everything in that club, because he ran a whole club. He didn't just run a team on the pitch. If you're going to say he has no influence, then I'm sorry. Very respectfully, you guys don't know history. If you don't know the history, then maybe we should be educated on the history a little bit first before we talk about influence. Because I could sit here and argue that his influence on a whole club structure from the beginning, to take a club from 7 Premier League titles to 20 Premier League titles and take over his arch rival Liverpool, I could say that's a bigger influence than what Pep did. Because I respect what Pep did, but you're just
certified is talking about football. But I think it's certified was saying in the football world. Pep has a
you can talk about the pitch, bro, but don't dismiss what my manager did, because if you're old enough, you would know.
Let's get Alan and Ram's take on this. Alan, what are you saying?
So I think we need to just address some points that Hamza made and all that. First of all, Hamza, I saw one of your videos. Is he frozen? I thought that picture was frozen for me, and it was quite good. Anyway, some of the videos you're talking about and all that is when you're going to that person, which is the bit like, Man City better treble and all that, and literally waving a badge in his face. Of course, he's going to go, yeah, Man City and all that. Come on, Hamza, don't be misleading.
Yeah, you're propaganda.
You're very good at misleading.
Hamza was harassing people in Turkey, bro.
So you're very good at doing that. You're talking about, like, you did say something that was a bit odd, like, I think Stafford tried to pull you up on it, saying that the best players in the best league at that time was Italy. And who did they beat in the Inter Milan and Juventus, with players like your Del Pieros, your Zidans and all that? All these other players with the best leagues and that at the time.
They finished 8th. They finished 7th in Serie A.
Yes,
it's an embarrassment. They finished into total.
Where's Inter this season? Aren't they like 4th place, bro?
They finished 8th. They sacked the manager Roy Hodgson in mid of the season.
Hamza,
you're lying to the people. You're being a propaganda.
No, you're lying to the people, bro. That's what we're doing.
Hamza, you went on a rant for like 5 minutes straight. Let me reply and then reply back. So you're saying all that, the better players, all that, it was a harder league back then, the Serie A. It's not anymore than it was then. Then let's look at the Premier League that season. You're saying it was like weren't nothing league and all that. It was more competitive than the league is at the moment, because Arsenal were a standout team this season and everyone else fallen off. You had Man United won it by a point over an Arsene Wenger team with Arsenal, who had won the league previously with great players. You also look at Chelsea third. I finished 4 or 5 points behind under Gianluca Vialli. Under Gianluca Vialli, with players like Gianfranco Zola,
Frank Sinclair, Michael Dubry, Dan Petrescu, Dennis Wise.
Dennis Wise, do you want to, rather than just name the bad names, let's name the quality players they had as well, shall we? 1 second, because you're just naming the bad players.
Roberto Di Matteo rejected at Italy.
Hold on.
Gianfranco Zola was the old guy.
Leeds at the time were considered one of the best teams that finished 4th. Liverpool had a bad season down to 8th. 1 second. Let's
Yo, bro, can you, Hamza, let him finish speaking and then you can reply, please.
Frank Leboeuf, Marcel Desailly, Gianluca Vialli. These were names you didn't mention, so you deliberately left out the better quality names because that's what you do. Who else was in there? Obviously,
George
young
Weah
John
was
Terry
terrible.
was in there.
Alan,
Andre Flo was quality at the time. Ed De
Alan,
Hoy, the goalkeeper, was a good goalkeeper at the time. So you
Alan,
missed
please
one.
give me.
You named the bad players, but you didn't name the good players.
Can I say something, Alan? Can I say something? Just to show you that this guy just waffles, okay? He sat there and he named how Italy had the best players in the world and they were in the Premier League, okay? We beat them. And now he's trying to dismiss and saying they finished 8th and 7th. So were they the best or were they 8th and 7th? You're absolutely waffling and you're saying every point and it's opposite. I'm tired of this nonsense, bro, because I can dunk on you all fucking show, but you're not making no sense.
It's like Real Madrid. 1 second. It's like Real Madrid winning the treble, but they beat Brentford because English were the best league. So we have to.
What does that have to do with what I just said? You just bigged up Italy and then you said they were 7th and 8th. So are they good or are they shit?
Gonna get, listen, we have. I saw that generation. I saw that. You can't lie to me. Don't try and play.
Bro, don't lie to the fans. You're lying to the fans. I want you to say the truth.
Alan, I'll ask you a question. Who was the Inter Milan manager when they played it?
Inter manager when they played. I can't remember every single thing. But
I know.
Hamza, you're trying to catch me with the Inter Milan thing, but you on purpose left out the better named players for Chelsea to make sure they make out they were a nothing team.
But Chelsea, no, listen. Chelsea were not that good. They used to be beaten 5-2. They used to get some 5-2 Barcelona.
So why did you say the best players were there? Like, you're not making sense.
1 second.
You're flip-flopping.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you.
1 second. Desai was 34. Desai came to retire here. Winston Bogart was a reject of Barcelona, came here. The likes of Ture Andre 4 were not wanted in Europe like a great striker. You're making as if, oh, wow, bro. Ture Andre Flo was just a Norwegian player. It's like me saying, let me give you an example. It's me saying that, what's his name? This guy, what's his name? Icardi, who's playing at Galatasaray. Now, Icardi at Galatasaray. You just mentioning the name. It doesn't mean anything.
Hamza, you're forgetting that I saw all this as well. And Ture Andre Flo in the Premier League was considered a great striker. Don't try and sit here like he was a nothing striker that came out of nowhere and was nothing.
So why did the
Hamza, I saw that. I was born in '86, so that Premier League around that time was my era too, and all that. So don't try and come because people are younger on here going, "Oh, they know nothing about that." I can say about that. You instantly named Dennis Wise and all the bad players for Chelsea. You missed out names like Gianfranco Zola on purpose. Who else did I name? And all that? Gianluca Vialli and all that. You named that.
He was old. He was old. He was 35. He was a player manager. Don't lie to the people. He was a player manager.
No, yeah, but he still played, did he not?
No, he was a 35-year-old. He was a player manager.
My dad
had to manage and play.
Hamza, did he play and was he not considered a great player?
Oh my God. Strikers at the age of 35 were retiring at 32 at that time. Sports medicine was so poor. If you had played to 32, it's an honor. See, the problem is, it go.
But it can't be that good.
Oh, Hamza, please. Let's stop for a second. Let me get other people's opinions. I would assume that the other two City fans would agree with Hamza and say Pep is the greatest.
No. Let me just say something. And this is, I know this is you guys want debates, and I'm going to be boring again. I respect both managers, but as I said from the beginning, I don't really care. Respect to Fergie, respect to United. I don't care. We won a treble. Guys, we won a treble and we won it. The
issue isn't you, Patrick, because I respected you from the beginning because you said the same thing on the show before this. It's the issue with me. People want to say rattled. I'm not rattled. If you know me, this is how I fucking speak in real life. Okay, I wear my emotions on my sleeve, bro. When I get like hot like that is because I don't like bullshit. You can say City had a trouble, big them up and everything, but to come out on this show and dismiss what Sir Alex Ferguson did, and this is why when I was saying I don't want to do the show is because I knew this would happen. Not also due to the fact that I'm sitting here, 3 City fans against me. So I'm doing this. I'm doing this.
You basically have Alan on your side.
I mean, because Alan speaks sense.
Alan is United fan now.
He's speaking sense, bro. Okay. But to sit here, Patrick, I did not once did I say so far that City did not deserve the treble, the 115 charges, nothing. I give you respect. But the issue is that I have to sit here and defend. By the way, I was too young to even watch this. So it's not like I was sitting there watching the treble in 1999. I have to defend things that I had to do so much research on. So I'm not even old enough to sit here and speak on it. But to sit here and absolutely dismiss it and saying, well, this United fan is getting rattled is because it's nonsense, bro. No one does a treble, but they were a shit team. Okay, you can't sit here and tell me Sir Alex Ferguson was overrated. That team was overrated. They would only get 2 players in that starting 11 if you do a combined 11, and this guy won a treble. If it was that easy, bro, then why did it take literally up until 2023 for a team to do it? If it was that easy, someone else would have done it. Because there were so many periods. There were so many periods where Liverpool were dominant. Hold on, there were so many periods where Liverpool were dominant, and they had more chances to do a treble than anyone else because they won the Champions League 6 times. Now ask them why they never did it. Because it's hard, bro. No one does it on a fluke. No one does it on a fluke. So you want to sit here and dismiss it, bro? That's up to you. I'm here to have a real football debate. We can say which one was better and why, but I'm not gonna call anyone of these trebles shit.
Guys, I'm gonna change the conversation because I feel like this has been going on for way too long. We got another comment here from Mancunian Way saying Fergie was more like a DOF. Pep is more like a coach, to be fair. So the parameters of the debate need to change. That is also fair.
That's true.
Which is why Thierry Henry went out on CBS and he said that I think Pep is the best coach ever. And he kept emphasizing the word coach because he thinks that as a manager, it was Sir Alex Ferguson. And this is why some people who actually understand ball, they watch out to the terminology that we use. But none of these guys came out and actually dismissed, like Hamza did, what Sir Alex Ferguson did in 1999.
Fair enough. We're not.
Carlos Queiroz was the coaches. Carlos Queiroz, Brian Cade.
That's irrelevant. Hamza, please. That's honestly, it's not that relevant to the conversation at this moment in time. Let's keep it to the topic.
No, I'm trying to say he doesn't know the coaches. The people who are doing coaches.
It's not relevant.
Egal, let me come in for a second, bro. I think when you come to ask about Alex Ferguson or Pep Guardiola, you have to ask neutral or rival, not City or United, because everyone gonna have, listen, I love Alex Ferguson. I think he's amazing. An amazing guy. I think to make the comparison between two, and I love Guardiola as well. He came with a new philosophy, and he's just one of the best managers. If he's not the best manager in the world, but to compare the two, bro, I think that's what I was saying. To compare the two teams, even winning the treble, is just difficult one because both won it in their way. And I think Alex Ferguson, he can't dismiss the guy. He can't disrespect the guy. The guy is amazing what he done, and Guardiola. I think the only thing he can say is both is amazing, and they get the same credit to me.
And you know what? This is where the conversation goes, and I'm gonna bring in Ram because the Ram hasn't said much lately. And G certified. Where do we go from here? City have just done the treble. Have they hit their ceiling, or are they now gonna go and get a quadruple? Like what's next, Ram? What are you saying?
No, I don't think they're gonna get quadruple. But I still think they're gonna maintain their success. Whether that be winning league titles, winning Champions League. I think if we're talking about the game as overall, I think people forget to mention it showed Manchester City's experience of losing that Champions League against Chelsea really showed, and Inter's inexperience really showed as well. So I think that's something that they could take on board. But them winning this, I can only see them winning more. Once the first one's done, the boulder's already heading down the hill. So it's just going to be a matter of time until they get their next one. So it is what it is.
It definitely is what it is. Alan, what are you saying?
Look, unfortunately, it's in the situation where, Arsenal pushed them this season. With the players, they can get better and maybe go again. Liverpool need a couple of quality players in addition to McAllister to be, I reckon challenge Man City. Chelsea, long way back with Poch, but I think they'll make progression, and be tougher to beat and might get some results against bigger clubs this season coming. But if you're looking at everything set in stone and where they are as a club, from top to bottom, Man City are run brilliantly. Everything's in the right place. So when something does happen, like it's supposed, Silva, Gundogan, they'll probably bring in the right players and go again. So it's going to be tough for teams to catch them, but it's on these teams to catch them. Otherwise, City look like they can dominate this period, Sir Alex and back in the 90s and early 2000s. So it's on teams to catch, close down, and surpass. But at the moment, yeah, it looks like they're going to be the team to beat for the foreseeable future. Even if, because they've got like everything set, even if Pep was to go, oh, I want to leave, because there was always rumors about him leaving. Like if he was to leave and go like manage like Spain or whatever, or go and manage another club for whatever reason and want a different challenge, I still think Man City are in perfect place to just continue where they are with a quality manager coming in. So it's a hard task for teams to catch them, but we'll see what happens.
I have two hot takes, but before we go on to the second one, I'm just going to give you my first one here. This is actually going to it's not going to demotivate your ownership or your players or anything like that. This is going to be the peak of City. You're not going to get any better than this. This is going to be great. This is your greatest ever team. I don't think you guys are going to be able to surpass this. What you guys have accomplished today is so great that to even replicate it is unimaginable. Like I'm not saying your team is not great and you can't do great things. You can still go on to win the league. You can still go on to win more Champions Leagues. But to go and do another treble, or to go and do a 4-peat, or to go and do a quadruple, I think that's out of the realm of possibility. I think that's at this moment in time we're seeing City be so dominant.
I wouldn't say out of the realm of possibility.
I think it's very improbable. Like it's really difficult to do.
I disagree.
One second. I don't even think that's the hot take. That's not the hot take. The hot take is that I think this City team is now going to be on a little bit of a dip, because next season, Hamza's losing his head now. Next season, you're not only going to lose Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, potentially also losing some of your defenders. It could be a situation where they have to do a mini restructure where they get more quality players in to replace those guys, and it could unbalance their squad a little bit. So maybe it's hopeful thinking, but this could be a situation where winning the Champions.
The Gundogan one I get. But the Bernardo Silva one, I don't trust any source until I see that guy hold a shot. But this guy was meant to leave 2 seasons ago. I want that guy gone. But he's still here for some reason. I don't know why. So we have to take that with a pinch of salt. That's what I'm saying.
I'll be honest with this whole thing. I don't see us falling off. I think this is just more of the start. I think this is more of, maybe not even just the start. I think this is just, look at what Man United do. Man United are probably the best example I can use. Even though 99 treble, they never replicated again. That 2008 team, they came, they won the 3-peat again, they won the Champions League. And I think it could be similar. Will we ever win the treble again? No. We might, but will we ever win the treble? Maybe not. But at the end of the day, we've got the foundations.
That's my real question.
Do you think we can what, bro?
Do you think this is the peak? This is like the highest. Yeah.
No, I think that this squad has still got places to go, man. Haaland is only 22. I think he's going to stay for a long time. He's only going to get better. I think Phil Foden, 22, 23, he's going to get better. Alvarez is young. I think Kovacic is the only main concern for me right now is that midfield. Because that midfield, apart from the midfield, everywhere else seems to be a little bit younger, or there's options. To replace Kevin De Bruyne is going to be very difficult. I'm not sure.
But certified, have you seen Foden in midfield? He's looking great these days in midfield.
What are you saying, Patrick? Do you think there's another level you guys can reach?
Yeah. I'll let if certified has certified. Do you have anything else to finish up?
No, but you can go.
Yeah, man. What certified is saying is true. But you know what surprised me yesterday? Hamza certified. I don't know if you saw the interview by Pep. I thought he would come out and say, "Let me rest." He said that the chairman told him, "Oh, the UCO final is in London, Pep. At least get me that one." And he told the manager, "Calm down, let me rest." But do you know what he said in his interview? Which was, I was like, "Oh, is this man leaving, or he's gonna get addicted to winning more UCLs with City?" He says, "I have seen teams win the UCL then disappear. Why I'm here, which I know I will be here, I will not allow these boys to just disappear after one Champions League." And by that saying how he said it, and he said it again later on, that I'm going to be here for so long, my friend. And I think he wants to sit here. I don't know if his target is to dominate and maybe have a certain legacy, but I think he wants to go higher. But the thing is, you guys forget Man City sneak players in. Maximo Peron, nobody has been talking about him, but have you seen this boy? This boy was supposed to replace Enzo Fernandez at Benfica, and we bought him. That's another player who's at City right now, training with the City.
That you bought from Boca or River Plate?
Yeah. The guy from Argentina. And then if you look at Foden now, when he drops into midfield, my God, he's changed all of a sudden. Now Foden knows how to play in midfield. I just feel like looking at Rodri, who's just 25 years old, and looking at some of these players, I think as much as people want a big dip, people have to catch up. That's the bad thing, Egal. People have to catch up.
But look
to
at
this
what he
team.
said. These kind of comments are kind of crazy. Like when he said this comment right here, that Real Madrid basically watch out.
He winked though. And smiled.
I know he's joking, but like there's a level of like belief in your club that you guys can go on and win more Champions Leagues. But because the first one's the hardest, you can go win more Champions Leagues. There's no problem with that. You can win as many league titles as you want. But all these things, there's going to be a dip in Man City. And I just want to know, when is the peak? Does anyone believe that their peak, this is their peak?
Igal, let me ask you, why would you think it's next year is the year that they would like go down? I know there's not much levels to go up from this point, yes, because they won the treble, so maybe that's your argument. But explain to me why they can't maintain it, because I can easily sit here and say that they will maintain this for at least another 2-3 years. And the only reason I'm saying 2-3 years because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. You know, they have the whole charges that could come in. Sometimes things happen where personal stuff happen and the manager has to leave, or star players have to leave, or injuries and stuff like that.
Staffy, if you go off history, Egal has a point. Egal has a point. The last time City won a treble, which was the domestic treble in 2019, they lost the league title the following season. So history does back Egal's point here.
And also, nobody has ever done a 4-peat in the Premier League.
But let me tell you something then. So far, and I said it. Let me tell you something. So what they did is they so far have tied a few of Sir Alex's accomplishments, which is the 3P and the treble. Now tell me why the next step is not them creating their own records. Because I could sit here and as much as I hate it, but I have to admit it, they can easily go on next season and create their own legacy and their own record by going on a 4P or going and getting a back-to-back Champions League, which is something Sir Alex didn't do. Now, this is why I'm looking at this, and this team, they don't necessarily can get so much better because they're already like almost peak, but like I see no reason why they can't maintain it, because most of these players are not old enough. They're very good at recycling and re-embedding new players into that team. Basically, like they blood in new players every season. So there's no reason why I can think next season they won't maintain their level. They're very good at maintaining the level. Them losing a league 1 year, like Ram said, it's a small dip in 1 year. But when you look at the full 7 years, if this was a graph, you would see this. It would be going up. There's a little dip in the middle, and it goes back up, and it goes further than before. So there's no reason why you can
next season, though. Let me
land. Everyone says it's Pep. Pep is the genius. He's going to be able to keep the squad together and keep it going. I agree. Pep is a genius. He'll find a way. But if you do get rid of Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Laporte, get rid of some of these guys in the squad, I see Man City maybe get rid of how many players? Potentially 4 to 5 players could potentially leave. Now, let me just name some of them. Obviously, Rodri and these guys are going to stay. İlkay Gündoğan is one. You're going to have Bernardo Silva is another one. Riyad Mahrez has been linked to Saudi Arabia, right? Then you go through the list.
But then they're linked with Kimmich and Kovacic, Egal. So it's like 2 good players going out.
Let me land. That's already 3 players that I named, right? We already know that Kyle Walker is getting old. He's probably going to stay, though. You have Calvin Phillips has been linked away from the club. Laporte has been linked away from the club. That's 5. That's 5 players that are in around the first team. Not only will they have to replace them, Man City already have a very thin squad. We know this. Even though they have a quality team, they have a thin squad. In order for them to go and replace those 5 players, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, İlkay Gündoğan, Laporte, and who's the other 5th one? Potentially Calvin Phillips.
This sounds like hope, Egal. I'm sorry. This sounds like
That's a lot of work.
One second. Let me just say this. Yeah, it's a joke because you see yourself like a Arsenal fan. When I lost Adebayo, and Van Persie, what happened to me? You think because that's what you're in that hole. Pep Guardiola lost Ronaldinho. He lost Eto'o. He lost Ture. He lost all these great.
He wanted them gone, Hamza. Don't try that.
Hamza, your signal is bad. Is it just me who sees the signal?
It's his shit takes, bro. That's what's happening.
Let me take it out.
I don't know what's going on, but I'll tell you guys this.
Can I just
Does anyone agree with me, for God's
so
sake?
can I balance it
It
out a
does.
bit? Can I balance the because you're saying about obviously Man City got to get rid of all these people, and then it can cause unbalance. But let's
And
not go-
also, they've won so many trophies. It's not realistic to sustain this.
one
It
second.
go. Let me finish this.
One
Yeah?
second, let Alan finish, and then you go.
Oh, sorry. So let's not look like
I'm
he's
just
never
gonna
done
go.
this
I'll
before.
come back.
Yeah,
I need to go.
Like he's never done it before with Leroy Sané getting him out the door when he was considered one of the best young players in the world and stuff like that. So he's done it
Ferran
before.
Torres, Aguero.
Ferran Torres, but also the people you've named, some of the people you named, like Laporte isn't a starter, Calvin Phillips isn't a starter, so they just have to flesh out the squad, which will bring players in to beef up the squad or improve. They've got a good history of doing that. Alvarez and Haaland. You've got obviously the other players they've brought in who've done good, the Kanji and all that. So they've got a good buy system. It hasn't always worked at the start, but it has been recently. So you're saying that about Man City to replace, but let's look at this. Obviously, Arsenal got close, but you could bring in a Rice and Caicedo because they're good players in the Premier League. People are actually going, "Oh, it's fantastic," and they kick them on, but it could unbalance your squad. So that's just what you're saying about Man City goes for Arsenal. The people you bring in could unbalance your squad where you don't hit the same form as you did last season. Same with Liverpool, same with Chelsea with the turnover and sort of things they're doing.
United also. United, Spurs, everybody's bringing in people.
What
Yeah.
you're saying about Man City taking away and unbalancing them. Bringing new players in, just because you're bringing in new players to improve a team doesn't mean they always improve and you kick on. It means you
Ali,
fall backwards. So you've got to
you know
balance
what?
it out.
Man City
You
are
know what
only
else?
really going to be bringing in 2 new starters, but they're going to also be bringing in another 5 potential bench players.
No, because
Let me finish.
Unbalance team.
Let me just say something. First, I was going to answer the part. Yeah, the first question. I just let everyone go around about is that the high ceiling? No, because the next target is Super Cup, the World Club Cup. Because if we win the Super Cup and World Club Cup, the Fergie's treble did not win the Super Cup and World Club Cup. They both lost that game. Sorry, staff, you have to dunk on that shit because I had to make sure that you know that.
You're
'Cause
really
you never-
making this
No, let me
personal.
go back to
United.
now. Let me go. No,
It's
they
crazy,
lost
bro.
the Super Cup against Lazio. See, I know that because I watched it. And they lost the World Club Cup, and they missed, wallahi, they missed the
Hamza,
because of that. And
Hamza,
you got that
please.
4-1 for Vasco da Gama. I remember I watched that. Let's go back.
Hamza, yeah,
No, I
agenda
remember.
maintain, Hamza.
Hamza, that's why it's not good to make the comeback.
No, I don't. I watched it.
That's
So if you use the
Let's go
Super
back.
Cup,
No,
if
let's
you
look.
lose the Super
We
Cup,
lost
I'm
the
gonna sit
Super
here
Cup.
and call Pep shit then,
Call
because
me.
that's what you're
We're
doing.
beating
Because all of a
Sevilla.
sudden
We
I'm calling
beat them
shit
before.
because of one game.
Hamza, what about the
Sevilla.
Community Shield?
No, bro. We dunked on Sevilla. We've dunked on them before. Don't worry. They were in the group stages. And Vasco da Gama. And in the World Cup, we're going to Abu Dhabi.
Hamza's memory is crazy.
We're going home. We're going home. We're going to win in Abu Dhabi home, yeah? Let me now go back to the transfers, yeah? We go, you're sleeping. Pep Guardiola got rid of Ronaldinho, Eto'o, Yaya Toure.
He
and
wanted
made
them
an
gone,
incredible
Hamza.
different team.
He
Pep
wanted them
Guardiola,
gone.
let me 1 second. Pep Guardiola got Akanji, the 4th choice centre back, who's been amazing this season. He transformed Ake into one of the best defenders in the world. He transforms players. I'm gonna lose Bernardo. Listen, Bernardo's gonna go probably. Yes, Gando's staying. But guess what?
Gundogan's staying.
Gando's staying 100%. Unless he go. The only one I'm scared of. There's only one team I'm scared of. Al Hilal. They haven't signed anyone. In case they come and say 100 million tax free, 2-year contract. How do I keep him? I don't know. That's hard. That's what I'm scared of. I'm scared of that Saudi Arabia because he's got free contract. He's got free. Riyadh, we can say, no, we don't want him. We'll sell him. And he can't go. But Bernardo, his wife is pregnant, and most likely he might leave. Yeah? And his partner's the reason who wants to leave Manchester. Yeah? So that's possibility. But let me tell you, Egal, Laporte replacement will be Gvardio. And if Gvardio signs for us, Egal. You got that Saliba song. Pack that guy, go home, man. This is the best centre back, the youngster in the world we're getting. If we sign Gvardio, the defense is locked. Basically, I'm done. I don't need to work hard. Ego, Ake, Akanji, Diaz, and Gvardio. Finished.
Okay. Let me just
if
stop.
This guy's sitting there trying to be a villain,
Let me.
whispering
Pep
and shit
can-
into the
Pep-
camera.
Pep-
I'm so
Pep-
confused.
one second.
One second.
Pep
I
can
have
take
one
the
more.
start.
How many
One
one
second.
more seconds do you need, bro?
Last one. I'm telling you.
I need
We
to
can-
stop everything. I need to
Bernardo-
stop everything. There's
What-
this topic was supposed to be a quick one, but it's gone too long. honestly, everyone does.
my God.
Everyone,
You guys
everyone,
get scared every time
everyone-
I'm raising a
Hamza,
question.
Hamza,
Because you waffle, bro. You
Hamza,
waffle.
nobody-
And everyone in the
nobody-
comment is just deluded, bro. They're like, they
Nobody-
dunked on you because he said a kanji. Bro, we
This
won the
guy-
Champions League with West
No-
Brown playing in right back. I don't sit here and talk about these
nobody-
things because they're irrelevant.
Bro,
It's just irrelevant topics, bro. But you
You
just
know
have
what,
some
Steffi?
weird army supporting in the comments at
Steffi.
every stupid take that you take up on this. Like, I don't get
Ah,
it.
there you are.
Hamza has
Victims.
a massive following now. It's crazy. My guy's doing his thing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna dunk on all of them, bro, because he's talking about a kanji. We had West Brown assisting in the Champions League final. What does that
Well
mean?
done. He's
Like,
good.
what is
I
the
don't-
point
I
of
don't
me
cut-
bringing that up? If I said
don't
that to
cut
you,
with
what does that
Brown.
even mean?
I
Does that
never
all of a
cut with
sudden
Brown.
mean anything?
But I
You know
don't
what?
cuss with Brown.
Let me stop, guys. Let me ask everybody quickly. Nobody agrees with me. Let's move on. The topic is redundant at this point. Nobody agrees with me. The second point that I had is this is the final point of the show. What was it? What was it again? I literally wrote it down. Forget about Lukaku. We don't have time to talk about Lukaku. The game itself is irrelevant. City won it 1-0, and all the last 4 or 5 games have been 1-0 wins also. So the game itself is pretty normal, always cagey. But the final point that I had, what was it? Was it about City, or was it about? Yeah, it was about who's gonna actually stop these guys, because it's like when we keep talking about them having problems, them peaking. Forget about them peaking. Who's gonna actually stop them? Because in Europe, if you guys haven't seen, the Champions League next year is not the strongest. It's not the strongest. Like the teams that are in the Champions League next year are quite weak. And if I show you guys the teams, you're gonna say, "Yo, what's going on?" I know. It's not only in the Premier League, outside of the Premier League too. You look at Pot 1. There's Man City, Sevilla, Barcelona, Napoli, Bayern, PSG, Benfica, and Feyenoord. Pot 2, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Inter, Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, RB Leipzig, Porto, Arsenal. And then pot 3 and 4, not really anybody who's threatening besides AC Milan, potentially, and Man City. I mean, not Man City, Newcastle. But like, these guys could go and win the Champions League again next year. And then in the
Don't
league,
say that, because if you say that, it dismisses it. I don't want to sit here and call it Farmers League and all that like Hamza did. So don't dismiss it early on. Don't say it's weak. Because if we call it weak, then it doesn't count according to
and
Hamza.
then in the Premier League, there's only Arsenal, Manchester United, and Liverpool who could potentially even challenge them next season.
For me,
So-
Gal, yeah. For me, I think that at some point Newcastle will join this kind of conversation. I'm not sure when exactly, but at some point Newcastle will somehow get here. But if you're talking about next season short term, I do expect Arsenal and Liverpool, them two. For me, at Arsenal, it's more about I don't know, man. It's about who they're going to bring in. For me, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see, to be honest. I'd like them to go for the same team, but for me, it's what are Arsenal going to do in the market. For Liverpool, it's more about I have a feeling. It's more of got a feeling. The way they ended that season, there's something about Liverpool that just made me kind of think they're going to be there next season. I'm not sure what it is,
Liverpool's interesting.
but it's the
Liverpool's
way they
interesting.
ended the season. That's why I'm a little bit worried about Liverpool.
My
They've
question
done
It's
this-
funny how a lot of City fans have been
Who's
saying.
going to
this.
stop City? That's the question.
Where
I don't think
exactly?
I don't think any
Or
will
Champions
be.
League.
I'll be honest. I don't think any will.
Stop them away from the league.
Well,
Okay, you know what? Maybe
well,
that's
Spurs,
maybe.
Spurs will take their customary 3 points at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium because you guys can't win or score there. Apart from that, I don't know who else to stop.
Egal, are you talking to stop them in the league?
Yeah.
Hey, Alan, at least let us score.
I picked Newcastle to win the league.
Okay. So yeah, I just remembered that wasn't even the question. I tried to make that on the fly. The question was I had this set up for a reason. There's 2 images. One is him. The other one's Messi. You guys can imagine why. Who's gonna get the Ballon d'Or?
Haaland.
What?
You're not gonna get Haaland. You're not gonna win the Ballon d'Or because you only played football in January. Simple as. What has Messi done since January?
I would completely agree with Staffy.
Messi won the league.
I think Messi will win it, bro. Messi will win it. He won the World Cup, bro. I think he's gonna.
Yeah, but that was in January. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't win the Ballon d'Or for playing 1 month of the season. And I rate Messi way higher than Haaland ever was. Sorry, go ahead, Alan.
The Ballon d'Or is nothing but a popularity contest. There's been
100%.
times where Messi or Ronaldo won it, which they shouldn't have, and all that. So for me, it's the name. If you're looking on this season and who out of them two would be Haaland all year round in every competition. Messi, pretty much like Steph said, World Cup, yeah, okay, fair enough. Apart from that, he's not really done much anywhere else. So yeah, I would say it would be Haaland, but it will be Messi because it's all about the name.
You know why it's 100% Messi?
100%,
Because Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, Rodri, all these guys are going to take votes away from Haaland. And that is what's going to be dampering him and stopping him from winning it. Messi is going to win it by a landslide because people are going to remember the World Cup. They're going to remember him being one of the talismans. They're going to look at him, and Argentina doesn't really have anybody else you can vote for besides him. Now, the only other person who could have had a case, if say Haaland wasn't the main striker and what's it called? What's the Argentinian's name? Julian Alvarez was a mainstay and started and played all the games for City, he would have a case because he not only did he do the treble, but he won the World Cup. But besides him, nobody else has a better case than Messi. And
so a World Cup negates a whole entire season in 3 different trophies.
Yeah, he has like 53 goals this season.
Don't forget what I said, though. I said Haaland has had a better season, and I would have given it to Haaland. But the reason why I think Messi's going to win it, and it's going to be an easy landslide, is he won the World Cup. He won the French League, he won the French Cup. He got 63 plus goal contributions. Man's been man of the match of the player of the tournament for the World Cup. Got the most goals in the World Cup. Don't forget that this is a guy who's nostalgia.
He didn't get the most goals. It was Mbappe. Mbappe had the most goals.
He I think he's
Mbappe had the golden boot.
Second highest. But I think the reason
goal contributions in the World Cup.
Yeah, and I think the main reason why he's going to win it is because of Haaland having the obstacle of having great teammates who are also going to be taking away votes from him, where Messi doesn't have that. Mbappe, no one's looking at Mbappe's PSG and saying, "Oh, we're voting for Mbappe over Messi." No one's saying they're going to vote for anyone on Argentina over Messi. So
Mbappe at the World Cup now, and Mbappe for PSG done nothing this season.
No.
If anything, Mbappe didn't move for PSG than Messi did. And by the way, I rate it's not hard to say I rate Messi. I think he's still the best player in the world, and I'm very pro Messi. But I just have to be objective here. This guy has 52 or 53 goals and won a treble, playing in the hardest league in the world. By the time the Ballon d'Or even starts the votes, I think it's like late in November or October, something like that. Like, I don't see how a player who's going to be in the MLS getting crowned as the Ballon d'Or. It's just like I've never seen that before. His World Cup was amazing. His World Cup is one of the best things I've ever seen. He carried a whole team. But like, you don't win it because you played 1 month of the year. He didn't even care about the French league like that.
1 second. Understand that there's politics to this, and we're not looking at who.
Which is what Alan said. Alan said it's popularity.
Where's your Ballon d'Or?
It's all politics. It's going to be politics.
No, there is politics, but the logic makes sense. Guys, Kevin De Bruyne is going to take votes away from Haaland. Haaland did not do much in the final, and he did not do much in the Champions League.
Doesn't matter. He has 53 goals. People remember that.
What he's
done, correction. But the golden boot winner for the Champions League is Haaland. So
1 second. Before you think I'm attacking Haaland, I'm not attacking Haaland. People remember what was last happened. If Haaland would have scored the winner of the Champions League, he would have had a better case than Messi. But Messi, because he made the difference in the final and he's helped his team also win a league, in the Champions League final negates anything you've done in the league and the Champions League.
Alvarez also did something in that final, you know.
You're gonna negate his whole season because of the World Cup he got, and this is what I'm saying. I don't want to come off as a Messi hater because I'm very, very, very supportive of Messi. But like, I can't dismiss what Haaland did all season. And by the time it's time to vote for the Ballon d'Or, he definitely will be doing more. Whereas Messi's going to be in the MLS, and there's nothing that people are going to take credible out of the MLS. I just don't think that's logical. And to be honest, I'm looking at it, it's an opportunity to pass the torch. I think FIFA would be very stupid to have this opportunity to crown Haaland over Messi, because this is probably the last time Messi's going to be in the Ballon d'Or votes anyways. So I think it's a stupid way to not have him pass the torch to the next generation. And we all know the next generation is going to be Haaland and Mbappe. So I get what you're saying. I just don't agree with it.
You're mute.
Okay, we all agree Haaland should win. But
no, not me. I'm not agreeing. I think Messi should win.
Okay, you think Messi should win.
Yeah.
I think Messi will win, and that's where I'm going. He will win. Where you guys are saying Messi shouldn't win. I understand why Messi shouldn't win, but I'm saying Messi is going to win, and this is the reasons why he's going to win. You guys are arguing two different things. Let's see. Tell me who you think is actually going to win, not who deserves it in your eyes.
I want Kasim to tell us why, because he said he thinks Messi, so...
Yeah, we're gonna.
Listen. First of all, Haaland was. I remember Salah did it for Liverpool. I know Salah did it. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah,
No,
go
he's
ahead.
talking to Patrick.
Yeah, I remember that season, first season when Salah came in. Is he banged what 45 goals a season, something like that? And I remember that first season where Ramsey will remind us, and Modric won it. And because he helped Croatia to go all the World Cup final against France.
And he won
Messi,
the
bro,
Champions
winning
He
League.
won the
World
Champions
Cup.
League and the league that year.
Yeah, and the
Salah
Champions
didn't
League.
win much. That's why he didn't get it.
Salah didn't win anything that season.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the goal ratio. Salah came in it was smashed. I'm talking about the goals. He scored about 40-something goals season, 50 something like that. But Messi, the way he's done it in the World Cup, bro, I think, and like you said as well, Stuffy, because it could be the last year for him as well. I think they would definitely give it to Messi. But you cannot ignore what Messi did in the World Cup, bro. It was just
No, I didn't, Kasim. That's what I said. I think it's
No,
one of the
no,
best
I'm not
achievements
saying
I've
you.
ever seen.
Yeah, Stuffy. I'm not saying you, bro. I'm just thinking loud. Yeah.
Okay.
I think what Messi done in the World Cup is just in another level, and I think that's one of the big reasons. I think he will win it 100%.
To be fair, there is a poll. We know Staffy's thoughts. We know my thoughts. We know Qasim's thoughts. Alan, you're saying Haaland should win it?
Yeah, and this is the thing. Like, what I don't understand is like there's a lot of I can see people in the comments, and obviously some people have said it on here. Oh, it's his last one, give it to him. This isn't charity. It's based on who's had the best season overall over a long period of time. And people, a youngster coming to the Premier League, doing what he's done, smashing all records, doing the Champions League and the FA Cup as well and all that. Literally, I don't understand because somebody done it in the World Cup, and well, people put the French league like and say it's a farmers league, it's not even one of the top 5, and then people go, well, Messi got all these in the French league, but you dissed the French league all season long. It makes no sense. I don't get it. The Premier League is 10 times harder than what the French league is. End of. And I don't understand because it's his last season. Give it to him. It makes no sense. It's not a charity. It's meant to be a thing, but it's all like to do with like always having a name attached to it. Anyway, I never as a standard bearer for anyone really. To be fair,
Haaland's winning right now by 45. 40. Listen, if it was a thing where you could only vote for 1 or 2 players, I think if people didn't have votes for Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan and Rodri, then Haaland would win all the votes. But that's my logic, and I think that's what's going to end up playing out and how it's going to end up playing out. Ram, you also agree Haaland's going to win in your books?
I think so. The fact that they've won a treble makes it blatantly obvious that he will win it. However, we know how French football works and the journalists, how they work. It's more or less a reality contest when it comes to the Ballon d'Or. I believe when it comes to the FIFA Best Awards, I think they'll give it to Haaland. But for the Ballon d'Or, I think they'll give it to Lionel Messi.
Okay, and I just wanted to end off the show. I'm sorry, guys. I've so many segues, but today we're only going to really talk about this, and we're not going to talk about it again. Team of the season for the Champions League. You guys can see the team of the season, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No Messi, of course, because he didn't do much in the Champions League. But you got Courtois. I think that's harsh on
Onana.
That's harsh on Ederson and Onana, of course. Kyle Walker. Did he?
I'm not sure about Kyle Walker, bro.
I think John Stones should have got right back.
The crazy thing is, there's only one Inter player in this.
Two. Bastoni and DeMarco.
Bastoni and DeMarco. Real Madrid, you got Vinicius. Is there anybody missing that you guys feel like?
I think Onana definitely should have been there. Onana had the most clean sheets.
Barella at centre mid.
Yeah,
no, but Stones did, bro. But Stones didn't play right back. Like, let's be honest, he did play in the midfield. I think that midfield is the only thing that I don't object on. I don't know about
maybe De
Bruyne. But
Stone played right back, bro. He played right back. He played right back a few times.
Maybe he played right center back in the 3, but did he actually play like right back? Because I've seen him most season in the midfield, and yesterday he was scintillating in that midfield position.
I think Dumfries should get a shot
guys,
as well.
We got a Chelsea fan saying Inter's bracket was Joe.
It was.
No, because I think somebody's missing. I think Brozovic is missing. For me, I thought he was amazing playing him, and you know, I think he was the best player.
I think he might have been injured.
I think it's harsh on Mbappe because he didn't get far.
I think Salah should have been there actually over Bernardo. I don't know if that's a controversial.
Mo Salah.
Nope.
Did he have, bro? He had the second most goals in the Champions League. No.
Hat tricks against Rangers, man. No.
True.
Bro, everyone go check out.
That's my guy, but nah, he don't deserve it.
If you said, that's why I didn't argue, Ram. I was like, if Ram didn't argue, then what do I know?
And guys, do you think Rodri deserved player of the tournament?
You know what? I was very surprised about that. I thought they were gonna give it a Haaland. I thought
Yeah,
they
me
were
too.
gonna give it a Haaland.
They usually
but
give
I
it to the
think-
top scorer, yeah.
But I think it's the fact that he scored in the final. They obviously did it after the final. He scored in the final, but he's also scored some really important goals for you
of
guys.
course,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
So yeah, I think
Yeah.
He
makes
deserves.
sense.
I
He's
think
been consistent over the entire
yeah.
tournament and given some big performances as well as big goals. So for me, it makes sense. You know, people, saying about obviously Haaland, but I would definitely have given it to Rodri. And to be fair, a couple of seasons ago, I thought Rodri was all right player. I didn't get the hype, but he's got so much better in recent seasons. And literally, you just go to show what a player he is. So yeah,
Yeah, man, BTEC Shabby Alonso him.
I never said that. I
No,
didn't
yeah.
say that. I
You know
didn't
what?
Nah,
say that.
agenda's
You
got
know
an
what?
agenda.
You
He
are
left.
saying that.
He left.
Can I shout one more guy as well? Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta shout my number 3, man. I gotta shout out Ruben Diaz, man. That since that guy came into the club, people don't really understand just the impact maybe he might have had because we've got a good squad. We do have a good squad, but to come in to one final, one semis, and to win the Champions League, a treble, 3-peating, a League Cup, everything that this guy's been doing, everything. Ruben Diaz is really, I think he's genuinely going to be our best centre back at the club. I think he genuinely is.
I think Grealish has been amazing as well, bro, this year. Grealish has been fantastic as well.
Him and Rodri could
Grealish
be
as well.
captains. Grealish only had second half season, guys. Let's stop gassing up Grealish.
Oh, come on. Grealish is a baller, bro.
He
He's
showed
a
up in
baller.
the second half of the season. He was missing the first half. Big up to him though. Let's go to you guys and just say, yo, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Big up everyone who's been watching. Really do appreciate all the love and support. Do me a favor, hit that goddamn like button right now if you haven't already done so. It's absolutely free. And yeah, I feel like we're gonna leave the transfer talk and everything for the next show on Thursday. Big up Staffy for jumping on. I know you've been doing back-to-back streams. Ram, thank you for jumping on, my guy. Alan, Qasim, of course, G certified, Hamza, and also Patrick who jumped on. Everyone who's been watching the show. Hamza had to duck out. Hamza's eating his pasta and banana. You guys don't know?
Yeah, we had basically a dunk contest between me and Hamza live stream, and people didn't even hit the like button. Like the fact that we gave you guys a show like that, we did a Vince Carter-esque dunk contest, and we didn't even reach 100 likes. Like that's more disappointing than Onana not being in that team.
Bro,
So
it's sad.
it's
73 likes right
shocking.
now. It's like, what's going on? You guys all need to hit that like button right now.
Get us to 100 likes, guys. What's going on here?
Come on, man. Get
People
that
saying we
likes
need
up, man.
Iga Ligana. Bro, if it's gonna be Iga versus Ligana, I need to get paid. That's all I'm telling you. I'm not coming on.
I need to start getting paid to talk to Hamza because this guy be getting my blood boiling.
I'm not going
bro.
on the stream with Ligana. At least I'm getting a minimum an appearance fee. But yo, I'm out of here, guys. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. And yeah, next show, hopefully we talk about Jadon Sancho to Tottenham, Harry Maguire to Tottenham, Declan Rice to Arsenal.
Kevin Thuram to Liverpool.
We're going to talk about Lukaku's return to Chelsea. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, Qasim, you better be laughing.
No, bro. You can have him back to Staffy, bro. You can have him back to you.
Go check out Never a Foul after this. Love for the love, people. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're out of here.
Here we go.